Back once again.
Hold on, let's start that again.
What's happening? We are back once again.
Go. Yes, sir. In the building.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on, John?
Oh, man, you know how it is. Chilling like a villain. Steady Ellen. We winning.
I see you all yankied out over the man. Your whole thing is yankied out. Look at your name, John, with the navy blue and white.
Listen, man. Green stripes look good on me, man. Can't help it. I'm on my kind of falafel flow today.
There you go. Sounds like you went to a Greek place and got yourself some falafel.
What's going on with you? Kind of falafel.
Yeah, I like it.
And that's right, man. My Rangers up 2-1 right now. Let's go.
Ooh, look at these Rangers, man. Shocking the world right now, folks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, this is surprising because they're not supposed to be doing what they're doing, but they're doing it.
And that's a young squad. That's what you get when you mix a bag of young, talent, athletic players with some, skilled veteran players. You get a nice mix. And they're knocking at the front door right now. Man, they're looking nice. They're looking good, man.
I see it. Hey, man, listen, man, it's a good time for New York. I mean, New York sports is all right now. I mean, there's some promising things with the Yanks, promising things with the Mets. Outside of the little injury stuff, Rangers are playing well. Giants and Jets are rebuilding. So, I mean, hey,
right.
It is what it is.
Now it's time for a Knicks rebuild.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. We need to figure something out with that, bro. I don't know. But since we are here, listen, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the show. We got NBA basketball once again tonight. NBA playoffs. The Warriors can wrap it up tonight, folks. Will they? I think they will. I think that last game was we can, wrap it up, but Dallas was like, nah, we got to get one. But I think the Warriors realized, listen, you can't keep Dallas around. You don't want to play around. You got to get up out of here.
You don't want to keep them in it. You know what I mean? Don't give that team no signs of hope.
No, that's not good, man. Because right now they struggling a little bit. They won that game, but I don't think they really got an answer for the Warriors. I think the Warriors are going to win tonight. What do you think about that? You think they're going to wrap it up tonight?
They should wrap it up tonight, man. If they don't wrap it up, then they're just they're playing with trouble. I think they need to get rid of them right now. Rest up, get ready for whoever they're going to see in the championship game. And I think, the more time they have in order to just make sure that they can strategize against whatever team they're going to face, the better they'll be going into it. So I'm looking for them to finish them off.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. And no, not to use anything as excuses, but obviously the tragic events that took place on the West Coast. I mean, well, you can say it's Texas, but it affected everybody. And a lot of the Warriors players, I know they were thinking about it. Definitely Steve Kerr was thinking about it. And I'm not saying it's as an excuse, but if you got some certain things on your mind, maybe you don't give your full effort. There's other things that are more important than basketball. And when you're up 3-0 on a team, you ain't really stressing it as much. Your mind can wander a little bit. So I think they'll be a little bit more focused tonight. So we'll see.
Yeah. Peace and love, and to all the families that have been affected by that tragedy. That's
horrible,
it's
man.
unfortunate.
Yeah, man. I
love and prayers go out to you guys.
I just hope that every place around the world can find something they gravitate to give them inspiration, hope, and things to keep their minds off different things. Hopefully this show is an example of that. Maybe it take people from thinking about it, because I know it's really tough time. I don't like hearing about it. I'm trying to stay away from the news. It just makes me feel horrible every time I look at it. So yeah, man, hopefully this helps a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. Get our mind off of things like that, at least for a little bit.
Right. So yeah, man, I think we can touch a little bit more on the series tonight with the Warriors and Dallas. But man, what do you think about this Boston Miami series? Like it's so crazy what's happening, because they've got all these injuries popping up, right?
Right.
Tyler Hero's out, Marcus Smart was out, then he came back. You got Jason Tatum got banged up.
Yep, I was about to say that.
Jimmy Butler might have gotten a little banged up and tweaked something, but he's playing through everything. And they just it's gone from like a trying to feel out who's who and who's what to a defensive battle. Like both teams are just locking each other down. They can't score points. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's great to see, because it reminds me of like 90s basketball again, where it's the defense is steady, right? And so whichever team is able to get off offensively and sort of take the lead going into the fourth quarter, they have the best chance to win the game. But it's interesting, man, because there've been some close. There's been spots where you feel like the game could go either way, depending on how the ball bounces, right? And the calls, but both teams are very aggressive. Both teams are bringing it, and yeah, I mean, Boston is showing themselves, man, as a formidable, contender for this championship run.
I'm in it. I'm very surprised. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not no slight at Boston. I think Boston is a really good team. Right. I'm just really surprised that they're handling what Miami's given them, and they're dished it back, and they seem to be a little bit more powerful than unfortunately, the whole thing that we talked about with Miami all season, the benefits of having these guys that they picked up from, I don't know where they picked them up from, but right. Strus, yeah. Having those guys, but this is where having veteran guys who've been there before matters. These guys have not been in the playoffs, right. And it's starting to show. Like Max Strus has been great, lights out all year, and now he can't find the basket. This dude had the I forgot what they call it. Oh, he had the Tony Snell. Right. Tony Snell, the 0-0-0-0. So not only did he have a Tony Snell, but Kyle Lowry had it the other day too.
I don't know what Kyle was doing.
Yo,
he couldn't even find the rim. He was airballing. It was weird to see. I think he's still dealing with some injury. I don't think he's fully healed yet. It's interesting to see him. Like, he wants to go at it. You could tell he wants to be there to help his team, but he just hasn't been healthy all season. So I don't think this is his year. If I was Spoelstra, I would probably stay away from him, to be honest.
I think, you know what? I think that might be the wise thing to do, because unfortunately they did it early in the playoffs with Duncan Robinson. Now they, with Hero being out, they need Duncan, and he's actually been pretty good these past couple games. But if Lowry's not giving you anything, all he's doing is hurting you out there.
Right. You might as well just use the combination of of Hero and Duncan, and just keep Lowry on your bench, because it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to just provide them anything of substance right now. Not the way he's looking on the court. You know what I mean? So,
I agree with that.
I agree with
that. Yeah, that's definitely, and honestly, Lowry's been. I mean, I don't know how you feel.
He looks old.
He looks old. I think he's kind of been a little bit of a disappointment for Miami this year. When you think about his overall value to the team, his numbers, and what he's done. I mean, you could say that when he first got there was moments where you could see how he helped the flow of the offense, but I don't really think he's had a lasting impact for them.
No, I think the injuries plagued him this year.
Yeah.
Whatever minor or serious injuries he had this year, it sort of plagued his time on the court hasn't been the same. He hasn't been as consistent, and going into the playoffs, he didn't play it during the first few playoff series. So having him come in now and try to provide something, I just don't think he's ready.
I agree with you on that. Yeah. So the fact that Miami, basically you lost Tyler Hero. I don't know exactly when he's coming back, but he looks like he's moving around. So maybe he comes back, fairly soon. You got getting nothing from Max Strus 2 games in a row. You got nothing from Kyle Lowry in the last game. And then Jimmy Butler's been struggling because I think that the defense of Boston can just focus in on Jimmy Butler. So he's got nowhere to go. He's got no relief.
Yeah. I think I like the way Boston's been playing against Bam. They're throwing different bodies at him. They aren't sticking to one guy. And so they're making it difficult for Bam to get his off. And so now your focus could primarily be on containing, because you're not going to stop Jimmy Butler, but containing Jimmy Butler, you know what I mean, on the offensive end.
Right.
And then making them work hard on the defensive side too, because they're not just like they're making him work, you know what I mean? He's on Tatum, or he'll switch onto Brown, and he has to, make a couple of defensive adjustments there. So, but I like what they're doing with Stewart, throwing Stewart and Williams at Bam. That changes everything. That changes the outcome. Even like playing Horford on him too. That all of those 3 bodies play differently defensively, and so he's going to have some athletic young length in front of him. He's going to have some guys who can body him up. You know what I mean? So I think it's very, in my opinion, I think I'm leaning on Boston to take this series right now, the way it looks. They're up 3-2, but just like it seems like that momentum has shifted. But he can come back at any moment. You know what I mean? They're just they start to get hot at the right time. And between Hero and Jimmy, they can light it up.
Yeah. I just think that Boston just seems to have a little bit more firepower on the offensive side, and they're equal in defensive effort in these playoffs. So that's a tough combination, because honestly, Jaylen Brown has stepped up big time for Boston.
Yeah.
So because without that dynamic duo of those 2 guys, because you see Tatum's dealing with something with his shoulder, and it's definitely affecting his shot. So Brown has definitely picked up the slack.
And that bench play has been decent for Boston. Maybe a little bit more than decent. Pritchard and White, and like these kids, they come in, they ready to play.
Yeah. And anytime they can get anything from Al Horford, that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at this age.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, and actually I think we did see Bam scored 18 points, but I think that was kind of because I watched Bam's game the last game. He really does do a lot of ball movement and facilitating, like trying to set other players up. He doesn't look for his offense a lot. It's
right.
Interesting.
But that's also a thing too, because against weaker teams, he'll go for his offense.
Right.
I just think it's the different looks that they're giving him. He's not against Horford the entire game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're putting Stewart on him, who's faster. You know what I mean? Who's just as athletic. And then when you look at Williams playing him from time to time, just the combination, even just the mixture of guys that come in and to play him, I think is something that's going to affect him.
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I think so what do you think Miami has to do in the because I honestly think that the next game may be the last for them. I think Boston if they want to win this series. I mean, they can still win in Game 7, but I think it would behoove them to take them out in that next game.
Right.
So it's smart to do that. But what do you think Miami has to do in order to win the next game?
I think other players other than Jimmy and Hero have to be involved offensively. I think they just need to pick up the slack. I think they play their best ball when they get open shots for PJ Tucker. You know what I mean? When he finds open shots in the corner, when they're running their high screens for Tyler. You know what I mean? I just think they have an opportunity, but it's gonna be hard, man, because Boston's locked in, and they aren't giving anything up right now. So they really need to share the ball more. It just seems like, for me, I think they're just really flowing their offense through Jimmy right now, and they need to sort of spread the love a little bit more than what they're doing. And hopefully that shifts their offense. And because defensively they're solid. It's just on the offensive end they're really stagnant. They're like sort of, their minds are sort of made up that they're playing off of Butler, and I think there needs to be a little bit more of a mix.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. That does make sense. Somebody definitely has to step up for Miami to have a chance at winning the next game, or even trying to push and win a Game 7. And whether or not, I mean, I think the easiest person to nominate in that case would be Bam. I think Bam really needs to get aggressive. I mean, he's a force. He's a force. So I don't know, what he's got to do, but he's got to get it going.
But they also, like, I don't know what did Tucker shoot the last game there in the loss. How do you do? Let me see here if I could find it. 3-2. If I go to the Heat, PJ Tucker had 7 points, and I'm not sure on his stats what he shot wise, but to me, he should be, if he can get you anywhere between, I don't know, 15 to 18 points, then you have an opportunity. Then that's sort of sharing the wealth. They're playing Victor Oladipo from time to time too. I'm not really sure about that move. I would prefer to see Caleb Martin play more versus Victor, because he's been there most of the season. And I think defensively he fits better. But it seems like they're allowing Victor to play, a decent amount of minutes. Maybe that was because of Hero's absence.
Yeah, I think it's because of Hero's
absence. Maybe that was what it was.
It worked the game prior. He had like 20 points or something. This past game, obviously, he had 3 in 15 minutes, and it didn't look good. I mean, they were really bad. I mean, from three, they were 7 for 45. Woo!
That's a lot of misses.
15%. That is rough.
That's rough. Yep.
And
you're going to win no games that way.
That's when actually shooting the 3 can take you out of a ball game right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's tough. Boston wasn't that much better, but they were 30%. They were 10 for 33. But they limited the shots, and they hit a couple more than them, so that helped.
I still think this series is going 7 though.
I think you're right. I mean,
Miami's going to tie it.
They're very evenly matched in a way. So yeah.
And then the Miami has home court advantage, right? Because I think they won out the season, right? They were first. They ended the season in first.
Good question.
Yeah, I think it was them. They finished first so I think they'll probably be going to Miami to end the series.
You are correct. Boston finished 51-31. Miami finished 53-29.
Right. So
yeah. Well,
yeah, the next game will be at Boston then, right? And then we got Miami Heat.
It should be at Boston. All the more reason why Boston could wrap this puppy up.
Yeah. If you're gonna wrap it up when you're in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to go into hostile territory and then try to get a win in Miami. It's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, that's not the way to go. That's definitely I wouldn't wish that on anybody, man. Especially if Miami gets going and starts feeling good about themselves.
Yeah,
not good.
And they'll be like, if they go to a game 7, that means Miami would have won the next game, and so
right.
that'll definitely be momentum for them going into the final game.
The chat is going, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Sherwood M, Pudge Nice, Sanga Waldron, No Way Jose. Oh, I know that guy. Angel Torres, Lonnie Hebrew Lion, D Block, Subliminal. What's going on? Shaw Powers, Almighty Finesse, Gene Mark, New York Knicks, Nicky Jr., Keith Turner, Paris Duggar, Billy Goat. Yeah, I wanted to mention you guys and give you a little love because I see you putting some stuff in the chat that is kind of interesting. For example, Paris Duggar said, Bam breaks down in tough battles. That's what he did in the bubble final. That is a really good point. And he looked a little non-existent in a lot of these playoff games so far. So you are not wrong when you say that. The other thing is Keith Turner said it don't matter who wins the series between Miami and the Celtics. They're just going to finals to lose against Golden State anyway. So that could be true.
It's the way it's looking. It's the way
Golden
it's looking.
State looks rough, man. And they could,
but again, they haven't faced a team that plays
that type
defensively
of defense.
like
That
the way
a good point.
These two teams play.
Although Dallas is a good warm up.
They are because they played a lot better defensively than most in the West. And got to give them credit. I don't like to give Luka credit because I see him sort of, he's posing as a defender. He's not really defending nobody. You know what I mean? But as a team, though, they play really good defense.
Yeah.
They have good concept, a good defensive concept.
I would say that they've been doing really good, as a team. Team defenses, I agree with you. But that defense doesn't compare to what Miami's throwing out or what Boston's been throwing out. And I feel like Boston's just got a lot of that. I don't know if it's Marcus Smart or what, man. Their aggression on defenses. It's interesting.
But they're talking. They're talking.
They're
all, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of, You know what I found interesting though? There was a clip, and I don't know if you heard of it or anything. Was there drama in the Boston locker room with Williams and Tatum?
I didn't hear
about him trying to dap his son, and he didn't dap his son. He walked off. What was that?
No, that was a joke.
There was a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke because earlier, I don't know if it was earlier in the day or at another point, his son came into the locker room with Tatum and gave that to everybody, but Williams was in the corner, and so he didn't see him. So he was the only guy that didn't get the dap. So next time when Williams came through, he went to give him the dap, and his son is like, because he's, kids, they don't care, they don't know what's going on. So that's what that was. That's
funny. That is funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, but listen, I seen something. Was it Bleacher Report who posted or something like that as something like some sort of thing? I was like, "Bird? I didn't. That would be weird happening right now."
No, that's nothing, man. So bringing us to the Golden State Warriors and Dallas Mavericks series. What do you think about the fact that Luka has been there and been everything for them? He's stepped up his game, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. I mean, anything could change, but at the moment, it doesn't look like it'd be enough. But do you have a newfound respect for Luka and his game? Forget the flop and the antics and all his stuff that he does. I know it's.
I can't. Like that's a part of the package, bro. Like
it is. It is.
Can't do it. You know what I mean? Like he would be so much of a better player if he stopped all the antics.
He would.
But he's got that soccer mentality. He's got that what is it? Soccer mentality, which is what they consider Spanish football.
Yeah.
What I mean? Everyone's a flopper. Everyone's complaining about something. That's just his game. So with that said, I mean, he's a solid offensive player. Defensively, doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything defensively. So
I hear you. That
he
doesn't,
is a liability.
It doesn't change anything. I got you.
Yeah. But the team has gotten better, under the guides of, Jason Kidd and their coaching staff, because you got to give them more credit. They've stepped up this year. And actually they look good, and they that team can win a lot of games, but it all depends on, if Jalen Brunson and a couple of other players on that team, Dinwiddie, if they come off offensively, it helps, because you're not just like dependent on Luka,
right,
to just keep him in games all day. So having other guys to step up and sort of, match output offensively, definitely helps that team. But I'm with you when you say I think it's over. I think I don't see Golden State dropping 2 in a row, not against this team.
I agree. And listen, all credit goes to Golden State. I know the beginning of the season, we were feeling them out, seeing what type of team they had. They looked really good, and they got better as the year went on, but they never really looked like they were keeping pace with Phoenix. Phoenix just took off. But you could see there's a difference with this year's team. They had some injuries. Draymond was out for a while. Steph was out for a while. You got the emergence of Clay. You got Clay back. You know what I mean? You got Jordan Poole playing out of his mind. But
still no Weissman, right? All year.
Still no, which I'm still surprised, man. Weissman must be really bad.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
But then you get to the playoffs, and some of these guys, once the defense ratchets up, it gets a little tougher. I mean, Jordan Poole's been okay, but you could see that now he looks like he's fell into a human place. He's not all world like he looked in the last series or whatever. Right. But yeah, things have kind of leveled off. But the one constant outside of, Draymond's defense and his effect on the game, Clay has been okay here and there, up and down. But Steph has been very steady.
Right.
Very steady.
He's primed to win another championship. And
I know he knows he doesn't have much more time left.
Yeah, he has his eyes on this prize, and I think he's going for it this year. You know what I mean? I think he knows that this is the best shot at another title. I think Clay understands that too. I think all of them do. But also, I also want to give props to Wiggins, because Wiggins has taken, a leap in his career.
Surprising.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's not only stepping up offensively, but defensively, he's taking the task of, playing against the opposing team's best player. Seeing that, Klay Thompson is coming off of injury, you needed someone to pick that up, and he's been a willing participant. And also Jordan Poole, his maturation as a young player, coming from the G League, learning the game under the tutelage of one Steph Curry, and just being, a pro, you know what I mean? Just being a sponge and learning and adapting his game to fit the NBA. I think that's pretty awesome to see, because you could see at some point that transition will happen where Poole becomes their number one guy, and Curry then becomes, sort of someone who, maybe retire as a Warrior. Who knows how much time he has left? I think he's probably like 15 years in, right?
If not 16. Yeah. He's been here for a minute.
2000, right?
Yep.
Wasn't he a part of the 2000?
Now you got me. I'm not great with years.
22. It's something. It's something around that.
Yeah. Huh.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up because I'm interested in, because I know Curry's been in this league for a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man, and what an incredible career, bro. Just what would have happened had somehow the Knicks got that pick with D'Antoni and Curry? The Magic
somehow. 2009, bro.
Wow. Huh.
So many years is that? That's what? 10. That's 10 years. It's like 12 years, right? More.
2009,
yeah, because 13 years. 13 years.
Yeah.
13 years in the league.
Wow.
So he may have another 4 or 5 more years left.
Could be.
So
But
he's at age 34. Players play till 40 nowadays. So he's probably got a lot more years.
You never know. He might Barry Sanders and go out on top. I mean, Barry Sanders didn't go out with a championship, but he did go out at the top of his game.
True that. True that.
So, I think it's about that time, man. I think we should talk about who our Biz Marquee player of the week is.
Yeah. Who do you think it is?
I wonder who it could be. Who would have guessed it? Mr. Steady. It's great to see it because I gotta tell you, this might be the steadiest I've seen Steph Curry this season. Like this, because in the regular season he goes up and down. He had
a nice run.
Yeah, this playoffs he's been really steady. Steady.
Yeah.
Surprising.
He's consistent. You know what I mean? And he's a leader. And he changed the game. So we gotta give him much love. Let's show his highlights while we're at it.
I'm with it.
Highlights. Yeah. See, that's the one thing. He draws a defense. He definitely knows how to draw a defense. And if you don't, stay with him or can make sure you got a guy on him or stick close by, he'll do that. He'll either fly by you or he'll pull back and shoot the deep 3-point shot. So he's a hard cover, man. He's a hard cover. And for those people who don't really get a chance to watch him on a regular basis, don't really understand how good of a ball handler that he is.
Yeah.
Like he handles the ball better. Like, I don't know. Like some people wouldn't even consider him a top threat, ball handler. But in my eyes, he's top 3 in the NBA today.
I mean, there's a lot of good ball handlers. I'm not going to say he's top 3, but what I will say, he's one of the best ball handlers in the NBA. I'll give him credit. He worked hard on it.
He's solid, man. There ain't too many people who are going to, match him up one-on-one. And then he's, on top of that, he's running through picks. He's, He has the long-range jump shot, so you have to play up on him. So with his ability to dribble past defenders and his first step, his quickness, that's a tough guy to defend.
Tough to guard, man. When he's going right, he's really tough. Like he shoots in like a nanosecond, man. You can't. That's tough, man. The only defense that gets played on Steph is Steph's defense on himself. Just
pretty much
missing shots. That's all it is.
Yep. True.
It's crazy to me because the dude hits threes like they're twos, right? But he don't take a lot of twos. Those twos are like layups for him.
Yeah. But he's always finding his spot, right? Like there are moments where you'll see him take a poor shot, but you're not going to see that consistently through a game.
Right.
He'll have 1 or 2 games where he shoots it really, really, really poor. But for the most part, he's as consistent as they come. And look at this. He's just calling for that one-on-one.
Come on, man.
Put him in the island.
When Steph was in Davidson, I would never expect him to do the clear out stuff because he didn't have the handle like he has now.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, on the shimmy. There it is, the Mark Jackson shimmy.
Yeah, man. He worked on this game, man. He's a professional. You know what I mean? He's a pro's pro. He knew coming into it what he wanted to accomplish in the NBA. He had great role models. You know what I mean? His dad was in the NBA. He was around the NBA from a young kid. And he just, he took to it. So you got to give him all the props in the world.
No, I agree.
Sherwin agrees with me.
Yeah, I see.
Steph and Kyrie have two sickest handles in the NBA.
Listen, Sherwin's like, man, Steph and Kyrie have the 2 sickest handles in the NBA. I mean, listen.
Don't give Steph enough credit.
I honestly do think that they don't give him enough credit because the fact is, he's so known for his 3-point shot and taking. But and plus his dribble is still very good, but is not what it was when we first figured out that Steph's handle was crazy. Remember a few years back when he was getting busy with the handles, he was trying to show everybody his handles was sick. He hasn't been doing as much of that now. He's a little older. He's got an injury, so he
don't need it.
He don't have to do that. But he was getting. I think y'all forget. That's what it is. People forgot there was like 2 or 3 years where Steph was really showcasing his handle. It was
especially
crazy.
Against Chris Paul. He had him on a yo-yo.
Yeah.
He had him on that string. Like, come here.
That was fun time. That was a fun time.
And against LeBron in the playoff games, he hit a couple of players with the hezzies. You know what I mean? And he had some moments, man.
That actually that build up his confidence a lot. Not outside of his jump shot and how great that's become, but when he started working on his handle and he knew that not only could he kill you from outside, but if you pressed up, he was going to blow by you. But now he could cut you up and he can get to the rim anytime he wants. Yeah. That's when he turned into next level Steph.
Yeah. That's championship Steph right
now. Championship Steph. Correct. So, you know what? There's a lot of stuff going on right now. The rumor mill is starting to get busy. And I don't know if you saw, and I think someone put it in the chat as well, but this is word out there is that Westbrook went to the Lakers and said that he wants to be traded. I don't know if it's true or not. You know how this stuff works. But that is what was said. And you know what? I will believe it because it should be true. I mean, he's doing horrible in LA. LA doesn't look like it's a good fit for him. Right. And they're dumpster fire. So I mean, they're not going in the right direction.
Yeah, they got to do everything in their power to keep Anthony Davis, right? So that means a couple of contracts need to go. So
yeah,
they got to find a way to make him happy. I mean, unless you're moving on from Anthony Davis, which would be not the best move, not for that franchise, not right now.
I get it. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I don't know what team is a good fit for Russell Westbrook. He's going to be an expiring contract. That's a good thing.
That's the one thing that's linking them to the Knicks all the time is that expiring contract. That's why a lot of these beat reporters are speaking his name to fruition because they feel like if there's any team that could do what I think what Houston did to Wall would be the Knicks with Westbrook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bring him in at some point. If it ain't working out, you hold off on playing him and you just eat that contract for the year until it's off your books.
Yeah.
I personally don't like it. And I know you don't.
No, I don't. I don't like it either.
But if it were to happen, I'm gonna live with it. I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm a root. I'm gonna keep rooting, but I hope not to have to see that.
I mean, it's a tough one to call, man. I've been seeing the Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving trade out there. These are rumors now. There's no teeth to this stuff, but
right.
Would Durant be okay with that? I don't know. Would LeBron and Kyrie want to play together again? I don't know.
Yeah, that is like that is something you wouldn't have imagined to happen, right? Not the way those two, like both of those four individuals, how they split. You know what I mean? They weren't in sort of good terms. So I don't see that coming to play this year.
And just so you know, there has been a trade rumor out there where Russell Westbrook would be moved, I guess, and somehow in that package, because that's all I care about, and I don't like it. Somehow it would be a 3-team trade with the Knicks, Indiana, and the Lakers, and the Knicks would wind up with Malcolm Brogdon. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not. I just the injury concern is just
it's got an injury. Yeah, I mean,
it's too much for me.
It's the biggest thing. I mean, Brogdon is one of those players who could be a really good player, a solid point guard when healthy. It's just the health. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, right? I think almost every year he's been in the league, he's been injured. So
yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it. So yeah, I'm just put that out of my mind. I'm not even thinking about it. That's negative talk. Don't tell me this stuff. It's negative. So here's the thing that I wanted to get your opinion about. Knowing the 4 teams, well, yeah, I guess we could do. I'm curious about Phoenix too, but knowing these 4 teams that are in the playoffs right now, and we've got the NBA draft coming up. These teams are not going to have high picks, most likely, because of where they finished. Do you think that there's a need for any of these young rookie draft picks to be on these 4, playoff contender teams, or should because they're going to get a draft pick, but these are the type of teams that you don't know if they keep their draft pick or not because it's low. Do you think it would be wise for them to try, because they're actually, some of these teams are, they're not that old. The Celtics are not that old, but a lot of these teams have some older players on the team, and you want to start looking towards the youth to kind of help get. The Warriors are actually doing a good job with that already, so I don't know how much they need to look at. You know what I mean? So
I think they're doing a great job. I mean, those 2-3 years that they did not make the playoffs,
it helped.
It helped them, regroup. They got a lot younger. They brought some pieces back, but I think they're going to be okay. I think Boston's going to be okay too. I think, they have a few pieces there that they can, build with right now. They may make a couple of trades in the off season, but I see them mostly staying packed. I would see Miami still doing the same thing they've done every year, where they're not in most of these drafts, right? But they find a way to find these young players who can provide some parts of, they fit right in with that club. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I'm just curious about that, man, because these people talk about the bad teams all the time, but like, what are these good teams going to do when it comes to drafting? Does it make sense to even keep their pick?
I think the Mavs are going to be the team that needs to sort of utilize that. And they got a lot of Knicks players over there. So they have to release a few of those guys.
Right. Pud said Boston's getting Beal. Yeah, I mean,
listen, that may not work.
And I don't even know does Boston really need Beal? We thought that Tatum and Brown couldn't really be successful together, and they're showing us something this year, this playoffs. They're playing damn well, and when one don't got it, the other one does.
Yeah, I would personally stay away from Beal. His injuries also creep up on you too,
and that's a lot of money. That's that 30+ billion contract every. Yeah, that's a rough one.
That's why I don't want the Knicks to look at that way either. Just stay put where we're at, man, and just build young, get younger.
Yeah.
Get younger. Release some of those older players. Find a new home for them, and build that way. I'd rather see a young nucleus.
Well, I could agree with you on that. Speaking of Brown, Brown did a little something in this last game, or that kind of had people opening their eyes, and he showed that not only is he still got that little jump shot, but that the hop game is pretty real too.
Still got some bunnies.
He's still got some bunnies, huh?
Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Oh, not in my house, folks. Not in my house.
Oh, Bam wasn't even trying. Bam wasn't even trying. He said, "Nah,
no B. Bam knows. He's been here before. He ain't
like,
Patrick
no
Ewing.
Thanks.
look at the Jordan tongue come out. It's always weird to watch these players stick their tongue out when they dunk.
Yeah,
look at that.
Yeah, he was there. He was ready. Oh man, Bam was like, nope. He jumped way too quick.
Yeah,
Bam had
man.
there was none of the smoke.
I like those are the two best dunks I've seen so far in the playoffs. That dunk and the one that Wiggins caught on Luka.
Did they call it offensive?
A little bit of a push off with the left, but it was a good dunk. It was a nice dunk.
That was the. He didn't even hit him in the face, and he was just like, "Oh, give me the call, give me the call." It's like, dude,
you know how Luka do,
man.
Yeah, man, that's funny. Yeah, that was a nice play for Jalen, and those are the type of plays that not only get your team hyped, but it breeds your confidence too.
Yeah, and he was, like you said, he played well that game, so he already had a little bit more hop to his step, and once he was seeing that open lane, man, he went for it. He went for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know what? So what we want to do now, we still got a good amount of, a little bit of time left, so we can get into the chat and whatever you guys, any questions you guys might have. But I want to get into the Nbk legend and then spend a little time on our New York Knicks and what's going on with the draft prospects and rumors and stuff that's going on with them. So, why don't we talk about our Nbk legend, see who that is for this week?
Yeah.
Sam Jones, man. He sound like he an R&B singer, like he's soul man or something.
Yeah, man. Well, let's take a look at some of his history with playing in the NBA. Sam Jones was known as a clutch scorer. He participated in 5 All-Star games and is usually recognized as having been one of the best shooting guards of his generation. Jones was named to the All-NBA second team 3 straight years, and he played on 10 championship teams, a total exceeded only by teammate Bill Russell in NBA history. Jones' perfect form when shooting a jump shot, along with his great clutch shooting, led opponents to nickname him the Shooter. He was particularly adept at shooting the bank shot, in which the shooter bounces the ball off the backboard en route to the basket. Many coaches, including UCLA's great John Wooden, believe that when a shooter is at a 20 to 50 degree angle to the backboard and inside 15 feet, a bank shot is always the preferred shot. At 6'4", Jones was the prototype of tall guard who could run the floor and bang the boards, and had a rangy offensive game that gave opponents fits. One of the Jones boys in Boston, Sam, teamed with Casey Jones in the Celtics backcourt to create havoc in NBA arenas around the country. Jones led Boston in scoring 5 times, and he averaged 20 points or better in 4 consecutive seasons. He scored 2,909 points in 154 playoff games, which is 92nd best in history as of the 2021 postseason. With that said, we salute you, our Nbk NBA legend, Sam Jones.
Yeah. Salute Mr. Sam Jones, man.
Man.
Yeah, man, that's dope. That's dope. C-Mac is like, hey, Sam Jones look like Ron's pop. Thank you. I'm
hey,
talk to my mom.
Hey, Ron, you did have that jump shot. I did.
Yeah, well,
I can dig it.
I'm gonna have to talk to my mom. Maybe something was going on I didn't know about. We're gonna have to, figure something out.
Gotta address that. Nah, but Sam, man, he was a champion, man. He played with Bill Russell for most of those, during that championship run, like was stated. But one thing that some folks may not know, Sam Jones was actually drafted by the Lakers, and I think committed back to going to college, and then after playing in, I think he played for North Carolina, not Chapel Hill, but I think like Central North Carolina or something like that. And then he decided to go to the military, and when he returned from the military, he played. He was then came back and then redrafted or placed with the Boston Celtics.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Back in the day, he was that guy. He was that 6'4" guard who could shoot lights out, really rangy. One of the reasons why we chose him is because you look at our player of the week in Steph, 6'4" guard, right? Could shoot it up, and that's sort of, the NBA hasn't changed that much. It has, but it hasn't. You need highly skilled players, and those highly skilled players are the ones who you tend to see in championship teams,
which makes
like
sense.
those Boston teams of that era.
That makes sense. I can dig it. So maybe we should take a look now. Bear with us, guys. Sam Jones was, he played back in the 60s. He transitioned a little bit into the color era, but a little grainy.
Yeah, you see it.
Yeah, but he had a nice jump shot, though.
Yeah. Nice stroke. Look at that. Yeah. And this is before the 3-point range, right? This is before the three-point line was implemented. So, but he had that nice turnaround. But look, coming off of screens. Oh, got this jab step, pop. It's very Steph-like. Look at that. Into the basket. Oh, look. That was a good pass. But I think that was one of the Jones boys that passed him the rock. But that Boston team was tough, man. They had a lot of really good players. Bill Russell was, of course, their captain. They're big. Did a lot for that team. But without those wings, without Sam Jones being one of those guys who can bring the ball up, shoot the rock, play defensively too. Really good player, man.
Yeah, he looked like a baller, man. He definitely looked like he had a game you have to respect, because it's weird because when you see guys who play in, like, when you look at the game and it's like black and white, they look like the throwback, Pistol Pete Maravich type players, but he wasn't. He kind of looks like more of today's type of player with the way his shot was and the way he moved on the court. He was skillful with it. So
some say like very Joe Dumars like.
Joe, you know what I mean? Dumars.
So you could see Joe probably, I don't know if he did or he didn't, but he probably, got a lot of his game from Sam Jones.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. And Sam Jones is no slouch, man. Definitely, people in the chat, some people know who he was as well, which is dope. Yeah, Sam Jones could play some ball, man. He could. So, guys, here we are, my fellow Knicks fans. Let's talk about. Let's just briefly talk about it, man. Let it out. Whatever you're worried about, whatever you're thinking. Yeah, everybody we thought was gonna go to us at 11 is, now they're the number one pick overall.
Quickly becoming top
number 8. 1.
Before we start talking about the draft, though,
go ahead.
Let's talk about this draft party we'll be having soon.
Oh man, listen, no, you know what, John? Listen, we can't forget about the draft party, bro. Yeah, man, don't forget, guys. The Nbk Draft Party happening. That's on June 23rd in Atlantic City, the Flagship Hotel. It's a 2-day event, but you don't have to do the 2 days. You can do 1 day. It's $30 for that 1 day. This is the draft party. The buffet. You get a free complimentary draft beer. Chop it up with the fellas. Have a good time. Then, if you want, you can pay $40 and do the 2 days. So that gives you draft night, and it gives you the next day, which will be a brunch or lunch, whatever you want to call it. Same type of buffet style, no beer, but we'll be chopping it up as you'll be a part of filming the New York Knicks Nbk intro. So that's going to be pretty cool. And there's going to be a basketball game going on, man. There's a challenge. Nice. There's a duel between Big Bubba himself, Isaiah,
against doing it again.
Godfather Sam.
Running it back. That's to say that the first game didn't go as planned, right?
Apparently, I didn't know what the score was, but I think Sim dropped it the other day, and it was pretty bad.
Pretty convincing. It was pretty convincing. Well, listen, I wish I could be there. Unfortunately, not unfortunately. I have a young man, my nephew, who's graduating high school this year.
Great.
So shout out to my young nephew.
Yeah, man. AJ. We don't got the applause. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up for him, man. Good job for him, man.
Yeah, man. So I'll be spending the 23rd with him on draft day, but I will be on my phone tuning in, checking to see who the Knicks draft. And then the following day, I got some family obligations that I got to attend to. But there will always be next year, God willing. And I will definitely be participating next year.
Well, you better make it next year.
There's nothing going to keep me away from there.
You got to make it next year because apparently Sim's trying to get it together to get Andy from Poland out here.
So I'm definitely being there. I'm going to definitely be there next year.
Yeah, man. Oh, so why don't we take a look at the Nbk draft commercial?
Yeah, let's do it.
The second annual Nbk Draft Party in Atlantic City. There'll be a live podcast, live DJ, live video shoot. $40 for a VIP ticket, $30 for draft night only. Get your tickets now.
Love that, right, man. Love it. Yeah, man. So that's gonna be pretty dope. So for those who can make it, definitely love to see y'all there. I'll be in attendance this year. So next year's never promised. I never know.
You'll be there for both days?
I'm going to be there for both days, man. But I don't know how long the festivities are going to go from brunch into. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be a part of that first part of it in the second day, but then I might have to roll. But we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man. But yeah, definitely, guys. If you can make it, get your tickets. It'll be dope to see y'all. We'll have a good time. And hopefully the Knicks won't let us down too bad. Maybe they'll stay consistent because we said what we will. The Knicks have not drafted bad. Okay, it hasn't been horrible. They've been picking guys. We may be mad at the fact that they haven't got that transitional talent that we want, but listen, they pick pretty well in the spots they pick. And look, we were complaining about Obi. And Obi still looks like he warrants possibly that 8th pick. Just give him more time, and we'll see how it all plays out. So,
he needs that opportunity,
right? And definitely, the second round picks have been pretty good, John.
Yeah,
I mean, they took Rokas.
Can't complain.
Playing good out there in Europe.
Can't complain. Deuce has done, what folks expected. McBride has been, I would say.
You mean Grimes?
Grimes. McBride. Is the Deuce,
Jericho's
played well. Jericho's, been really good, but Grimes, I think, was the gem for us last year. So, and then we've gotten quickly from that as well. So, so far so good,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of interesting, man. But let me just say this Kai Sato stuff is going crazy. I mean, they are going wild for this guy, and I'm not gonna lie to you. The more and more I see him, 2 weeks ago I saw him.
He's talented.
He's not bad. He's not bad. I mean, listen, I wouldn't be mad if the Knicks somehow said they're gonna try to get the most solid player they can get at 11. I'm not mad if you take Kai Sato with these 42nd pick, second round. Right. I'm not mad at that. If you're gonna go that route. Make sure you nail your first.
Pounder. Get those wings, man. We need those wings, man.
Get them wings, man. There's tons of. Listen, this is the wing draft. I know. I mean,
gotta grab one.
You got to Buffalo. They got barbecue. All types of wings in this draft, man. Yeah,
all flavors.
Yeah, man. Listen, look. So, knowing what's going on, John, do you have a guy? I'm not saying he'll be there. But is there a guy that you really like that you wish the Knicks could draft? Whoever it is, even if he's not going to fall to the Knicks.
I'm hoping any sort of type, any sort of Mathurin, Benedict Mathurin type players. You know what I mean? Anyone who's sort of similar to that. I'm looking for a small forward, to be honest. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping they bring a small forward to depending on if they're planning to keep Cam or not, but somebody who can provide some length, you know what I mean, some athletic ability, because in my opinion, we just need to keep moving further and further away from Rantu as quickly as we can. So bringing a young kid who can coincide with Barrett is what I'm looking to see. Yeah, if not with Barrett, then with Grimes, because I think that's sort of what we
and let me tell you, Pudge, I know you still you feel a certain way about Obi, bro, but if you get Julius Randle up out of here, which now there's the rumor that Portland is interested in Julius Randle's services. Whatever that is.
I would not do it for Lillard, but if they wanted to put Lillard in a package for him, I don't see them doing that. But who would you bring for him?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. And it's not gonna be Anthony Simons, guys. And
he's staying there.
He ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
Honestly, if they were able to swing a trade with them, I would love for them to get Trent. I don't know if they would part with him, but they do have Nurkic over there. Look, I'd be happy with
that wouldn't be a bad move for Nurkic.
Yeah, I would be happy with the 7th pick in the draft from Portland.
Yeah.
Give me a 2nd round pick in some other draft. It don't have to be this year's draft. Give me Drew Eubanks.
Okay.
And I think that might be
it. That may be it.
I'd be happy with it because Drew Eubanks can ball for a big. He's a really good backup. The Knicks need a solid backup. He can score. Right. He averages like close to 10 points a game or whatever it is. I mean, that's what I was noticing. He scores and he rebounds. So I wouldn't be mad at that. That would be a nice guy for the Knicks to put in their rotation, and it could spell. You don't have to necessarily worry about Nerlens Noel. You don't have to worry about bringing Taj back in that capacity. Even if you had Nerlens, Jericho, and Eubanks, I'm okay with that. I'm not saying it's not Mitch, but I'm more concerned with getting that 7th pick and keeping our 11th pick, and we can draft 2 pieces, or they could flip those picks and go get you a Donovan or something. They figure out some other way to do what they got to do, whatever they want to do. But having a 7th and the 11th is nice.
Yeah, and that, like you said, you have an opportunity to get who you're looking for at that point. Once you're able to, solidify 2 first rounders, and you have the ability to make the right decisions. You'll probably get one of the 2 right, hopefully.
Right. Even if you got to get rid of, even if Eubanks is not a guy who comes back and say they want to move Josh Hart, I'm okay with Josh Hart. You're gonna have to cut some of your guards. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
listen, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah, I'll be okay with that, man. And guys, let me tell you something. The Knicks are not they're not without some options. They can make some moves. And it's nice when another team comes to you and says they're interested in your player. Even if you don't necessarily love the deal, the fact is the Knicks aren't going to them. So that's good. Right. At least they value your player. You know what I mean? Because anybody the Knicks go to and say we want to trade Randle, you're not getting anything. Pennies on the dollar.
Right. The thing with Eubanks, though, that scares me is that he's not really he's more of a new age center, right? He's not that tall. I think.
He's 6'9". Yeah, he's 6'9".
More like a power forward type. You know what I mean?
But he averaged 14.5 points, 8.5 rebounds.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Not at all. I'm just saying, knowing what we'll get back, I'm not even sure if he'll be our backup, especially if we don't move away from Sims. Because Sims is about 6'9" or 6'10", right? So I would assume that he'll have the backup position. But like you said, I mean, if there's a way to make a move and get Randle out of here, then let's make that move.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. But yeah, I would like that. That would help me feel a little better because I saw the Benedict Mathurin workout. That just makes me feel worse, man. This dude's a beast. He looks like he could really do something.
Ready.
He could be something special.
He's ready, but that's the thing. Top 3 is almost already sold, right? Because the top 3 picks are all like power forwards, right?
Right.
You got Holmgren. Who are the?
You got Holmgren. You got Jabari Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is when it gets a little tricky. It's not. That's when it could be
either guard or forward.
Yeah, it could be a guard or forward, right? It could be Jaden Ivey. It could be who knows,
Right.
Who knows? And what's his face is moving up the board a lot too. Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray.
But I heard and some people are picking Johnny Davis a little higher than what was expected.
I don't know. It's funny, man. I see Johnny Davis going to Portland. I've seen him, and that's at 7. So it's like all over the place.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Nurkic is a problem. You're right. That's why I don't know if we can get Nurkic, but wouldn't mind them. But
yeah, I don't think they would get rid of him. I think they would want to maximize his contract, and because they want Lillard to somewhat be happy. They want it to seem like they're bringing in players to help them, maximize his potential. So we'll see.
Right. And as Cully has mentioned, back to the basket. No, that wasn't it. It was the Malachi Branham. Yeah, Malachi Branham looks good. Only thing about Malachi Branham is he don't play defense. He's not a great defender. So here's what I ask you, John, before we get out of here. Your opinion about a guy who might be able to light it up at every level offensively, but doesn't play defense. And he's a rookie, so he's not established. He doesn't have go-to moves in the NBA yet. Would you be comfortable with a guy like that if he doesn't play defense on this Knicks team? I mean, he could learn to play defense, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If he's the best player available, then I'll go after him. But I think this year's draft is heavy on the wing side. So I think there's some players who sort of play both sides of the court. And so I'm leaning to some other guys who have a little bit more potential right now, who are currently readier in the NBA game now, versus a project that we're going to have to deal with later in the future.
And that's why this draft is, to me, there's talent in this draft. It's just how do you pick the right talent and the right talent for your team?
Right.
That's what makes
I do want to stay away from anybody who's projected like we were projecting Kevin Knox, right? I don't want to see a 3 to 4 year project anymore. Like we tried that, didn't work. We don't have the patience here in New York to deal with a young player that needs development. So I want a ready now player to come out of this draft.
I agree. I think if anything, the Knicks need to focus on a guy who is a two-way player, and that's it. Go from there. Whoever's a two-way player at any position that's available at 11, take the best one. If he's the center, if he's Mark Williams, you take Mark Williams. Whoever it is.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys, man. This has been another great show. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Salute to Cully, C-Mac. Let me see. Is there anybody else that jumped in that might have not got the shout out? No, I think we got everybody, man. I think everybody who popped in, we hit earlier. But want to definitely salute all of y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Definitely, watch this Warriors game. This might be it for tonight's Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Knicks. This might be it.
Dallas Knicks.
So definitely enjoy this game. John, any final words?
As always, stay blessed and looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. Like he said, salute to my man Jose in the background. You don't hear him, but he's there, always holding us down. And as I always say, guys, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans. We'll be back again. So look for us to come back with more and more content. Next thing on the list is this Saturday. Know the Ledge. You know how we like to chop it up over there. So that should be a good one once again.
Open forum.
Oh, that's right. And then this Sunday will be part 2. That's right. Part 2 of our NBA New York Knicks draft series. But this one is going to be a little bit more focused on the Knicks, what they're going to do at 11 and the second round. And we're going to break down the players a little bit more in depth, strengths, weaknesses, and just really kind of hone in on what the Knicks got going on. So definitely tune into that. That's going to be this Sunday at 12 noon. Know the Ledge is this Saturday at 11 a.m. So you got the programming.
Nice. And you're definitely going to probably hear names like you guys have approached, SoCon and Eason, and those type of players are definitely going to be on the list of players to be watching out for.
You're going to definitely hear those names. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to spill the beans. I'm definitely going to be talking about Kai Sato.
Sato.
Yeah. So all the Kai Sato fans out there, tune into that. And now I'm pronouncing, I think his name is Sato, not Soto. So I'm going to start saying Sato more. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but thank you guys.
He's from the Philippines. Ain't
That's right. My man, Filipino brethren. I feel like I'm from every nation. So yeah, man. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. And don't forget that Nbk Draft Party, June 23rd. Check it out, man. So you guys have a great rest of your night. We'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Run that shit.